specifically in those two categories, but otherwise, it's pretty commiserate with what we requested and what was adopted for 2026. I don't know if there's any other specific questions regarding the 4D fund or not.
Are we on prosecuting attorney part fund 1,000, or are we on 4D?
4D.
Where were those, Abby, where were those bonuses paid out of last year? The end of the year?
So the 4D has incentive funds that they receive from the federal government for recouping the money and actually paying child support to people for enforcing the child support orders. So those bonuses that my office paid to them came out of those funds. Those
Okay.
are
Nothing
totally
out.
separate, not county funds.
Okay.
And that's a running balance that we keep that is separate, that is not appropriated through this body, so.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions. This looks good.
No questions on 4D?
Great. If we want to go ahead and just move on to the Prosecutor General Fund, I don't know if anyone has any specific questions or not regarding our appropriation requests.
I was glad to see the overall budget's down last year.
It is down, and
Yep.
honestly, a significant part of that was the reduction in our health insurance cost.
Yeah.
There's a $30,000 difference in what we requested there, so that's pretty significant, in my opinion.
Yes.
I did request a little less money in office machines just because of the rotation of how we're replacing our printers and computers and things of that nature, but overall, yes, a significant decrease despite going up in salary.
Questions on the general?
Fine to me.
And then the pretrial diversion program fund, again, this is program-generated funds that my office manages. We tweak it every year based on different needs that our law enforcement partners may or may not have, and just different projects that maybe we're trying to work on with them. It's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know if anyone has any particular questions on this.
Well, the only question I have is on the furniture and fixtures. What do you have planned there?
So I'm actually considering purchasing a new conference table. I think, as everyone here is aware, everything was stored in the hangar. Some of our furniture came back damaged. It doesn't fit in the room as it is now. We're considering purchasing a new conference table, and then just in general, if we have other needs. I like to think of the pretrial diversion fund as needs and not, or sorry, as wants and not needs. So if there's something that is a need, I prefer to pay it out of the Prosecutor General Fund. If it's something extra, I prefer to pay it out of the pretrial diversion fund, so I'm not using taxpayer funds to pay for it.
Question I got
Sure.
is, your line, 31907 on the DBF, local law enforcement,
Sure.
$490 spent, 2743 so far this year, and that line has gone up from 10,000 to 12,000.
Sure.
What are you planning on, or what's going on with that?
So we use those funds in that particular line item to supplement things for our law enforcement partners. That could be investigative tools, that could be training. The 4,300 that was spent this year was a special interdiction training that we sent two WPD officers to. We've also are using funds to pay for two officers and a fireman to go to a conference for school emergency training. So we use that to supplement the normal department training funds or equipment funds whenever there's something that is a higher cost. So there are some investigative tools that I've been discussing with some of our detectives that need to be refurbished or need to be replaced that are pretty costly. I don't want to get into a lot of the specifics of that, but it's for equipment
Okay.
And things of that nature.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
And then kind of the same thing with the staff and law enforcement line, which which would be,
Correct. So again, so that could be for staff or law enforcement training specifically. In the past, we have used that, for different trainings that we've sent our office staff to versus the attorneys. There are some out-of-state trainings that sometimes we like to attend or send someone to, and that, those obviously come with additional costs. So that's why you see some of those numbers going up based on some plans and conversations that have been had. And again, these are funds generated by our pretrial diversion program and deferral program for infractions, so.
yeah, and it's just like Mike, though, I seen you'd increase those two lines, but yet from an expenditure standpoint,
Sure.
the expenditures weren't lining up with the increase.
And this is just based on some plans that we've discussed for next year. so.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions regarding pretrial diversion?
Nope.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I also want to say thank you to Abby. She took my call like super early to answer some questions, so thank you.
No
I'll
problem. Thank you.
recognize her because she actually reached out and called me and asked me if I had any
She
questions.
did, and then I didn't have time, so I called her this morning. so-
Okay.
Yeah, Abby called me.
We talked
last night,
yesterday,
too.
thank you. Yeah.
No, not a problem. Thank you, everyone.
I was eating supper with my wife last night, and I get this call from a strange woman. that I didn't-
Normally, whenever the prosecutor calls people, they just listen.
But thanks for reaching out,
Appreciate it
Abby.
very much.
Superior Court Judge Murray, judge is in trial. Which is he?
You're all in order.
Just a lot of stuff.
For
This,
this one.
what about this? We can,
Are we gonna?
Yeah,
All of
I
them.
had that as well.
No.
So,
No.
That was, I had
Okay.
it circled.
Taking them all.
'cause I mean, just last year, we did the longevity for both judges and said, that's it. Yeah, okay. So we-
or,
Oh, going to
Or were you headed?
Circuit courts.
commissioners is where
well,
you're.
Superior Court.
Well, hang on. I thought you were looking for the next person. I know.
We
but-
don't have Judge Murray or Judge Smith here.
Right, so they're, neither one of them are here to say anything, so I had,
So we can discuss that at work session
yeah, you guys
next
will do it
week.
line by line in the
Okay.
work session. You guys are just here talking for them to
Okay.
defend their budgets
Okay.
today. So we can go ahead and Mike can then speak and then
Okay.
when we do the,
Sure. Okay.
Morning, guys.
Hey.
This is all kind of new to me. Nathan kind of threw it at me and said, here, you can take care of it. So I think the only changes that I saw that we asked for was for the animal shelter, upping that a little bit from 35 to, let's see, what was it? 50. We'd had a couple meetings with Mayor Rhodes, and that I think it had been about 15 years since we'd adjusted that any, and they struggle out there just a little bit. So.
Yeah,
You know what?
I remember years ago talking to Joe Wellman when he was mayor about that. That may have been the last time we upped that, yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
did
on the
notice
second
that the
page,
office
isn't it?
land rent is still there for
Okay.
the community corrections. We won't have that?
It is
or-
right now, we won't have that, that
Okay,
is
so in
correct. So,
27, we could actually
Yeah.
strike that.
that's right. And that's kind of what we were just talking about out there.
Sure.
Their lease is up in,
I didn't know when you had to pay that.
yeah, I think it's in August.
Okay.
So we're trying to beat that, and
Right.
we're gonna see if they won't prorate that a little bit if we need it for just a little bit longer.
Leave some of it.
Marilyn, can you repeat the initial part of what you said?
They have, if you look at 37501, office land rent, the 3,600 for community corrections. Community corrections is moving into the courthouse, so I was just asking if we would need all of that money there for 27.
Oh,
And Mike is saying they may need to prorate some, but we shouldn't need the entire thing there.
When do you plan on moving them in here?
They're in the basement now, getting the Purdue Extension's offices ready. So Dale kind of thought after Labor Day, we could get them moved. It's kind of the projected rate, and then they've got a little bit of walls to build up here in the Purdue Extension. So it's kind of hard to guess just yet, so.
Could we eliminate that, and then if we need an additional appropriation, do that next year if it's needed?
Yeah.
We could probably do that at the work session.
At the work session, yeah.
That's what I was thinking too.
Okay.
On consulting services, Mike, it's gone up some. Is there a reason? 31,600.
I honestly don't know. The consulting on the, which one is it, Darren? I'm sorry.
It's 3,100. On the first page.
I'm sorry. I see it there.
That probably has to do with our must meetings.
Yeah.
They're not in
Can you
there.
help me out? What is that? Okay.
And then also on our compliance and planning director, which is the zoning permits and all that stuff. So we're at 55, or you're planning 55. And that's the one that we were doing with the city. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And it was,
70.
is that yeah, that was in the 70s, wasn't it? So that's a reduction actually, right?
Get a reduction, correct.
But was the 70,000 we were paying the city, was that also to cover insurance?
I
Benefits as
don't
well
believe
as
so.
salary?
I don't believe so. It was
Okay.
like, yeah,
That's
it
what
was
we're
just a flat rate.
Wagner, Irwin, Shealy, and Baker Tilly.
So the expenditures though listed here are still significantly,
Correct. So Baker
Liz.
Tilly will help review all of our budget numbers and making sure stuff that's coming up the end of the year. Wagner, Urban, and Shealy, they're always available, and this is the line that we use for when any type of HR needs that needs to be handled, that, you know, with help from their firm for the professional side.
it was just a significant increase from last year. And I was just, if there was something driving why it needed to be increased from last year.
That, Jen, would that line be used for any local attorneys or anything, or is it your professional consultants that you pay out of there?
I'm pretty sure it's just the professional consultants' systems being slow whenever we're trying to go through and pull the reports from down here, but I want to say that our county attorney and all that, it's on a different line.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2025, so once the year is over, last year we spent almost 22,000, the 21,553. So we're anticipating more, and I would say, I can't remember the discussions with the commissioners, but I think it's probably because of the MUST committee.
Probably the
fire
must, maybe the
districts.
fire districts.
Yeah.
And with
And
the fire district.
districts,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't mean you're gonna spend it.
No, right, that's,
On the storage building / repair, 36,100.
yes.
Again, when you look at expenditures, is there something significant there that's going to be done or needs to be done?
I think we may use that line for some money for the, moving the departments. We was gonna use some of that expenditure out of that for that, but I don't know what else that's actually been used for over the years.
Not much.
Yeah, not,
they-
not much
they-
at all. It's not. I noticed that too.
I think that's where our Hoover storage and stuff that Scott Schneer also uses comes out of that line, if I'm not mistaken.
On 38-001, can we get, sometime maybe, Jen, can we get a list of what has been expended on, what organizations have been expended, that money's been?
For that line specific?
Mm-hmm.
On the non-for-profits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that down to 4 different non-for-profits, or is it more than that? It might be a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I know, it's just, I mean, I
Which
know,
the fair is off of there now, the Davis County Fair,
Oh.
because we gave them some, now that they're not there.
It was at 100 for years,
Yeah.
so it's,
oh,
yeah, come down quite a bit.
okay. Okay.
But you'll give us that list. Okay.
And on the 38-301, that's with SAIDC, what do we pay that for? What, I mean, what service are we getting? Is that an annual fee of some type?
Yes, that is our annual fee. Yes, and they always submit that paperwork with that amount every year, and it just went up a couple years ago, I believe.
And what specifically do we get for that?
They do road counts for the counties. I don't remember all the things. Greg Jones leads all that. Tom, do you remember some of that? I mean, I know the stuff that SIDC does, they help serve and do things with grants and serve the different counties, but to be able to list it all off, I don't remember off the top of my head.
Is that the land bank part in there?
No,
No.
this is just
Different.
being a part of the SIDC.
You know, over the years, they've helped a lot of communities with getting grants.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Alfredsville years ago, yeah.
we
Yeah.
deal with them a lot with different stuff, but Westgate, but we pay them at Westgate for specific tasks.
I think he's working on the water tower project, isn't that part of it? Moving, relocating that water tower, they're doing all this work
This
on
is
it.
just to help fund that for all that they do, and this has been our annual fee for years.
Okay, all right, I just,
Counties
That's a
are
good question, but
involved in.
Well, I think we're getting our money, I don't have any question we're getting our money's worth out of that.
And
I've been on it for 3 years now.
and I guess since we're still here, one more on the,
Fine.
on 38-700. Again, when you look at expenditures versus what the ask is.
Yes.
We're gonna be at 100,000 this year, though, looks like.
That care of patients is, kind of can go either way. We just never know. So the care of patients, it can usually, we can
Can
get
jump up
bills
pretty quick, 'cause
quarterly and
I've
they can be
noticed,
huge
you
and
know,
sometimes they're not.
Some of those invoices can
Yeah.
jump up pretty quick.
Yeah, they're on track to spend almost 100,000.
And the sheriff could also, I think, speak on behalf of that, because when they have to transport and those care of patients and this, with the juveniles, I believe that's part of that. Is that correct? Maybe not. But I'm pretty sure that has, because the
The care of
Southwest
patients,
Village,
does that got to do with some of the transport?
the Southwest
No, it does not.
Village, the care of patients that the commissioners has. I thought it came through with with probation and stuff with the children or the
It may be, but
juveniles, but,
all the transportation of the juveniles comes out of my budget.
right, but I think
But
I
if
don't
they're,
pay-
this is the medical side of it. I
the
think.
medical side of it.
Maybe.
And
If not,
I've seen some of them come through, and I think it's usually
Yeah.
the juveniles.
I think that's what it
That
is.
may pay for where they're being held,
Right,
I'm not sure.
right.
But that's not out of my budget.
No, not your budget.
just over 2%.
Yeah, it's
So
not
it's
a lot.
not a big number
Yeah, it's not,
for everything that's in there.
right.
Probably Good Samaritans also paid out that whenever they,
The county contracts with mental health out of,
yeah.
which is changed. Does pay them.
I don't have any other questions. Darren, do you have any more?
No.
Yeah, Darren, do you have any more? That was good for me, though. That made me think.
No, I mean, I just look, I mean, I'll make the comment though, I mean,
No,
that, I mean, you know, you guys have a pretty good substantial budget there.
absolutely.
But when you look at the overall, I mean, you're only asking for $77,000 more than last year. And obviously, you know, as we've talked in the past with budget situation, said 27 is gonna be,
A little different,
so we're looking, try to keep things down as much as possible.
understand.
So compared to some of the other budgets, 77,000 for your budget is good.
That's only 2%.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Next up, courthouse, Scott.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And much a carbon copy of last year, besides the raises. Pretty cut and dry.
I guess the big thing, Scott, for me was, some of the utility. Again, just from a pure, simple standpoint, we got I don't wanna say a new building, but we've got a significantly remodeled building that has new windows and new HVAC and all that stuff, and
It's something we decided to let ride for a year, see where it came in at.
just
Yes.
see,
When the utility bills come in, the auditor's office keeps those and pays those.
yeah.
So I really never see them, but we can see what it does this year and go from there. Tell you, it's not as efficient as we was hoping for, but it's better than what we had, I say.
And until on that same line with equipment repair and maintenance, those increased by 33%, really. And, again, with new equipment and everything like that, it's like, why are we increasing that budget?
We are lucky to have a warranty this year because there was a lot of equipment that went down this year. Extreme cold, and we're looking at a maintenance agreement with it because some of that could have been caught with a maintenance agreement, but we wasn't in the know to know what to do and how to do it. So there were some codes that would have alerted the company, and they could have came in and made their adjustments, but we ended up losing 3 compressors, which they say we're 6 years into it. It's really, a lot of people lose 4 or 5 a year. So it was credited to my guys for changing the filters and stuff like that. But we've had a lot of breakdowns this year. Every week it's been something. We've had the product covered, but we still, we have the labor covered, but still we have to buy new product parts. So it's not as, Gary can testify, a new building is not cheap to run either. I believe before we was at 18,000 on each of those categories, and it was cut to 15,000 last year.
26, they were 10, they were both 10,000 each. But,
50% increase.
Land
Yeah,
improvements,
yeah,
you
it would be
bumped up a little bit
50%
where you got
increase.
planned for
Yeah.
outside the courthouse, or outside the building, I mean, outside.
I'm sorry.
The land improvements, you bumped that up some.
We anticipated having to put landscaping back,
Oh, okay.
but the contract, wasn't enough money there to dig around the basement. They was gonna reseal outside.
Oh, okay.
So the outside improvements is that. We got some concrete projects coming up, refacing, and also the courtyard concrete needs redone that's a drop in the bucket when we talk about that. But there's several projects outside we want to do. We just, at this point, we just want to get back to doing maintenance. And right now, we're just fixing units, and so a problem comes up all the time. We had a water leak in the Superior Court office yesterday. It was a pressure relief valve. It's just product failure. And we've had a lot of that. We've had 3, that makes the 4th water infiltration since that building's been done. So it's just really all weird circumstances. We're just trying to work through them and get back to what we're doing.
Are we getting, I mean, is a lot of that under warranty?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank goodness. The other charges are enough. So how about in this building here? Or do you, I assume you have problems here too? Oh, yes. This building's where we've lost 4 compressors since it opened. This is the building with the 4 compressors, okay. One of them failed on startup. And the other 3 is it's a very sophisticated outfit. And if we have that maintenance agreement, which is gonna be included sometime this year or for next year, if we have the money, we'll start this year. Just because we're going into winter time, things change back and forth, and it just creates a lot of havoc in this electronic equipment, because the components themselves are made in Taiwan and India. I mean, just weird places. So they're not the best quality products within the HVAC system. So we've had condensation pumps quit. I wrote some of this down here. We've had to replace the water heater in the courthouse already. We had to replace water softener controls twice. Had 2 main boards on the fire service. The standpipe for the fire department was not sealed during construction. Water kept coming in there from the north rains and dripped down the walls into the panels. So we didn't figure that out until the second time. So I'm working with the GC on the project to go back on that company, because the workmanship, you know, it's not a standard practice. Didn't live up to it. And the hot water circulating pump had to be replaced. So there's just failure after failure this year. We're just trying to hold it all together.
Question on the elevators, do we just have a maintenance agreement and then they take care of everything, or is that regular maintenance and then we pay expenses on top of that?
There is regular maintenance agreement, and then there's monthly safety checks that's required by the state. So everything comes through Homeland Security. And so the state guy, state inspector comes, I've seen him more than anyone else. But you know, that's 2 contracts right there we have to have, and for each building. Same thing with our fire service. We have a contract on the sprinklers, the fire extinguishers, and the fire monitoring. Another, that's all through, those 3 are through Alpha. Kind of negotiate our prices when they get all 3.
Otherwise, I think it looks good. I mean, it was just, you know,
Yeah.
the question being with everything being new over there,
Yeah.
why
You know,
we're increasing some of this.
I was trying to brace you last year when I was standing here, you know, so Boone County doesn't mean trouble-free,
Yeah, I understand that.
just the opposite.
But, and then overall, your budget's increased 45,000, which is about 9.5%, so.
It's these contracts and some of these companies, you can't get here for less than $1,000. Your bill's gonna be 1,000 or more.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it's, whole industry is.
Yeah.
So I don't like it any more than you do. We're kinda hung out there now. We gotta use what we installed now.
Any other questions for Scott? Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
all.
Scott.
Thank you.
Next up, Huh? Okay.
What are we working on next?
CASA.
Oh,
Does
CASA.
somebody know where it's at?
Yeah, back from home, see. About 6 quarters for land, too.
To the other side. You've gone to the other
Yeah, I
side.
started doing it last year. I went and got one because
Just in case.
I can look at the problems in there a little better than here, but this is faster. Yeah. So and you can save it, and then you can make your own, like I can highlight in yellow on there and put numbers on the outside. It doesn't affect the program here.
Okay, I'm gonna check.
Yeah. Say, you save it to your, yeah,
Just
the
past the circuit court.
computer, so you're not messing up the, I learned that last year. If I was changing the numbers in the report, I didn't have it saved. I do this year.
All right,
You're
Casa.
planning on doing more advertising next year.
Any questions for Missy?
We are very much so. I've got 2 billboards up right now. There's one heading towards Vincennes on US 50, and then I've got one on I-69 between the Washington and the Odin exit. It's going north. And we have gotten some inquiries about that. I'm now advertising with the Bullet and with Dwayne Shake. I'm looking to actually do a direct mailer. You know how like weekly you get like the ads and stuff in the mail? I'm really wanting to do a full page direct mailer. Because a lot of people, I mean, honestly, a lot of people say, what's CASA?
Yeah.
You know, and that, to me, that's a failure on our part, because if people don't know what it is, they're not gonna be able to offer to volunteer. Now, Dwayne Shake gets us out there all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, Dwayne
Heard
is
it on the radio.
really good. I am working with the Bullet and with Shannon O'Toole, and I know that Judge Smith is getting ready to film, or like record a message for CASA. So yeah, we're definitely bumping up our marketing. I just went to our directors meeting in April, and it's not just our county. I mean, volunteers are dropping like flies, and I don't know why. I'm like, you know, I mean, we still need the volunteers to get in there for these kids, you know? And I always tell people, once you get in there and you meet these kiddos, it's worth it. It's, you know, I mean, it's totally worth it. It's hard, but it's worth it. But yeah, advertising is my main focus right now, is just to get more volunteers in there for the kiddos.
So Missy, just from a simple edification standpoint, so funding wise, does this money, is this strictly county, is it grant, is it grant money?
No, it's grant money and county matching. We get money from the state, and then we get money that is a matching grant from you guys. So we'll get, this year, I believe we got like 21,000 from the state. And then I know that Judge does comes in and does the matching, or the county does for us.
Yeah, because I mean, in looking at your budget, I mean, it's doubled in the last couple of years. And I'm just trying to figure out where.
It goes, I mean, it depends on our caseload. Like, the money that we get from the state, it depends on our caseload.
Yeah, I wondered if it depended on the numbers that you have within the system.
Absolutely, and right now we are sitting at 85 children in our caseload. We have 11 volunteers, and we also have a staff CASA that this is so we don't have a waiting list, that every kid is being seen each month and being advocated for. So our volunteers, some of them have 2 cases, which may include more than one child. I mean, I have one volunteer that has 7 kids on their caseload, and that is from one family. So a lot of our state funding depends on our caseloads. So
And
And I'm-
just to add to that this fund is the grant dollars that are coming in, and she has over $200,000 cash. So she's just asking permission to spend up to these dollars in the year. So the cash is there that they get from the state.
Okay, okay. That's, yeah, good to know.
So, but
Thank you,
that's-
I appreciate the
Yeah.
information.
Yes,
that-
thank you.
that helped a lot.
And if you know anybody that would like to volunteer for the process, send them to me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Getting back on track, I don't see Dale.
Cindy's here.
Just a minute ago.
Cindy's here.
Yep, Cindy's here. We'll jump to the county extension.
Looks like you have some good news, Cindy.
For you, huh? Yeah, so I did talk to Tom. I sent out a couple of emails to keep you guys up to date on what's happening with the transformation that will go fully operational in 2027. I think in part this is also to do with everything that's happening from a funding standpoint. Or are you trying to be cognizant and good stewards of the funding that we request and receive and the support that you've given us over time? I did want to point out, I think it might have been in one of my emails, maybe not. We do get state and federal funding at the state level, and the state line item has been flat for about 20 years. So a couple of years ago, they decided they really needed to look at how to be more financially sustainable over time. So this has been a process that's gone on at all levels of the university, to be honest, about extension. So it's been in the works for a while.
And the
Certainly.
realignment that Purdue is doing, I know
Yes.
you got a different position now.
Yes.
Is that gonna take you out of the county more often? Are you gonna be traveling a little bit
It
more? than
will.
before? Okay.
I'm going to tell you that I feel like we were very blessed in all of the assignments for 2027. My region is 7 counties. I serve directly 3. So I have Knox, Davies, Martin, which is wonderful because I feel like we've already got good relationships there. All of the educators that have been in those counties are staying based in those counties, so that's helpful as well. Sarah Brackney did a relocation that was personal, so she's up in Bloomington. But the way we're structuring, and I was just actually texting her because she had a PARP yesterday. I was kind of getting those numbers. They had about 70 there. She's still serving us through the end of the year as our A&R educator.
Yeah.
And then I was asking her too, we have not really reported to you all like what comes out of the research farm that is supportive to us. But it's my understanding from talking with Sarah and others that we've got researchers at SWAPAC, which is north of Vincennes in Knox County, that do come out personally and work with some of our local folks here, especially our Amish community. And we're not capturing that when we give you our impact report, which will be coming up in about a month. So I want to see what we can do to get that information out to you too, because that would be a part of the services that you're getting, especially on the A&R side.
With the new transformation, are some of the larger counties actually paying quite a bit more?
You know, it's kind of across the board. It's been so the variance has been so great for honestly decades. It varies. Martin County's ask is about twice as, they're not larger, but just as an example, it's about twice as much as they've been paying. There hasn't been a lot of fluctuation in the numbers over time. Davies County has added program areas when it was an FTE, like a person kind of a system. So your numbers were going up. This kind of brings everybody down to a more equitable balance across the state. So we kind of watch a spreadsheet to see what's happening. So I've seen all of those numbers. And again, it really, really varies, which is part of why they wanted to go to this. It's much more consistent. You're equal in population to Knox County, so that number is the same, where in the past it may have looked different.
And with this new arrangement, you're the only person that's actually gonna be traveling, everybody else is still here full-time or not?
They're based here, but they will serve regionally, so.
So everybody's a regional, then you're
Yes,
saying?
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Did you say someone was relocating or not?
Sarah has,
Oh, she already did.
That was a personal move, so she's commuting, so she serves us.
And that's part of her area?
You only pay her mileage within the county. You're not paying her mileage coming from Bloomington.
Okay, but that's part of her area now, you're saying, or
It
not?
will be,
Okay.
as we transition, but we're not quite there yet.
Okay, when is that set to be?
2027 will be fully operational.
Okay.
And
Couple months.
Sarah's position actually will be a specialist. There's some of those. So there's been a lot of moving parts. I'm just grateful that get to keep our base people here. I think the value in that is they know the needs and they've been meeting the needs. So those counties where we may have, one educator from a program area, they might not be aware of the other program area needs. So our folks will, if there's a need that they don't have an expertise in, then they'll call in someone else that has that expertise. So it's really meant to streamline that, not have each educator be a jack of all trades for their program area, but be able to call in others. And that's a region, but we also operate in that if community development has been like this forever, if there's someone in another part of the state that has the expertise and the county needs that, then we're gonna bring those folks in.
All right, I'm still a little confused, but it's just me, I'm sure.
We're all learning.
Okay,
yeah.
so if our base people are all still here,
Yes,
but Sarah's up there, gonna be,
yeah.
are we gonna replace that position locally, or or not?
You'll get service from other A&R educators in the region
So we won't have a base
Right.
person covering her?
for A&R,
Okay,
not based here.
okay, got it.
And this is still a work in progress. Most of the program areas are also going to like a specialty area, so that's easily identifiable. And A&R has done that already.
Okay.
So neighboring, we have a field crop specialist who also is certified in drones. And then Greene County has a horticulture specialist, so they would be coming in. And they're already thinking about ways that they can better serve, whether that's kind of office hours, say out in our Amish community at the Amish produce auction, where the Amish can come to them versus trying to be responsive one-on-one. And I know Sarah has a big Amish program happening at the end of the year as well.
So a lot more streamlined shared services.
Yes, that's the hope, and I guess, and one of the, trying to think the right term, inspirations for me to consider this regional position from my standpoint is, I'll need to have my ears to the ground all the time across, especially our counties here in the southern part of the region, to make sure the needs are being met. Then I'll work closely with you all to make sure that that's happening.
Is the 4-H program the same?
Okay, so the 4-H program is the one that will continue to have one person in every county
Okay.
dedicated to 4-H. A great point. Yeah.
Somebody in Gibson County last year, who was on the Purdue Extension Farm Stress Team, it's kind of a statewide operation.
Yeah.
You think with this new model, you might bring that organization here?
Yes, yeah. The mental health piece has been huge, that's been discussed with several of the counties as a need. Yeah. And then actually, she's now official, she's been interim for a couple of years, the new director of Extension, Angie Abbott. She'll actually be here. We've got Bob Barron here. He's been one of our big supporters for years. He had the idea for the Farm Bureau annual meeting here. Angie's gonna come and give her presentation that she's been giving across the state about the transformation. So August 27th, 6:30 at the 4-H exhibit building.
At where?
At the exhibit building, 4-H exhibit building.
Okay.
August 27th, 6:30, correct, Bob? August 27th? Yeah. Yeah.
If you're a 4-H member, I believe you'll have something in your mail today about that, because I listed my mail, I've got something coming today, so.
So that's another
No,
opportunity.
4-H, I mean,
Yeah.
Farm Bureau.
Yeah. So yeah, to Tony's point, definitely wanting to streamline and make sure we're efficient in how we're delivering services and delivering the best services that we can. And that's not just coming from the county staff, that's coming from campus as well.
Any other questions?
I would invite any comments from my colleagues in the room. Yeah? Sometimes you guys ask 4-H stats, so I had Wes kind of pull those out for you, but the show went really well this year. Right out at the newly refurbished grounds and everything. Numbers are good. We appreciate your support. If you think of anything else, let us know.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sam.
I think we're gonna moonwalk backwards, yeah, to Shelby and adult probation.
Which
Good
one is-
morning, I'm with probation, and before we get into the funds, I just want to give you guys an update. We still supervise anywhere between 784 people to 800 people. I ran the report last week, and we were right at 789 adults and 34 juveniles on supervision. We do have pending juvenile referrals. We have about 12 right now. We are fully staffed. We have 5 adult probation officers and 2 juvenile probation officers. I have divvied up some of my cases to where the juvenile probation officers are also meeting with some of the adults as well. That way we can all know each other's jobs. And then some of the adult probation officers have been going into juvenile court hearings. That way, again, we can all learn each other's jobs just in case anything happens. As far as the funds go, we have to have 4 accounts now. I think that we're supposed to be doing this all along, but we're supposed to have a adult administrative fund, an adult supplemental fund, juvenile administrative fund, and a juvenile supplemental fund. So I did have to go back in and amend the budget that I had submitted earlier in June so that it will reflect the 4 funds. So on the explanation of funds, we had to, and this has been a learning process for me as well, and I've really relied on the auditor's office to help me with this. So I am learning as well. In the juvenile supplemental fund, which is 2150, we are going to have to move all of the funds from 2050 to 2150, so that way we're in accordance with the IC code. And then the only thing that we're asking for in that fund would be account 35401, which is the electronic monitoring for juveniles. We're asking for $10,000 due to using home detention as an alternative to juvenile detention. Do you guys have any questions on that one?
Well, that's a new additional expense from before.
Well, we did ask for that last year as well, but we just have to move, all of that money from 2050 to 2150, so that way we are in compliance with State Board of Accounts. And the only thing that I'm asking for an increase with the juvenile side of things is that $10,000 for electronic monitoring. I can't remember what we got approved for last year, but I know that we're wanting to utilize that.
What age are we talking? Juveniles, what,
13 to 17 years old.
13 to 17?
Yep. Yep. And that would be, we try and work with the prosecutor on this, on if they're younger kids, trying to put them on electronic monitoring, that way they can stay home. Depending on the severity of the offense, we try and keep them home, that way they can go to school instead of sending them to juvenile detention, because detention costs the county more money than what electronic monitoring would be. And the electronic monitoring would be coming out of probation's budget instead of the county general budget. Have any other questions about the juvenile supplemental?
See the number of kids increasing from year to year? I mean, you told us you have 34 right now. I mean, was it in the ballpark last year, or is that?
So far, it's been about the same as last year. Severe crimes have been completely different from whenever I first started here. A lot more auto theft, firearm charges. We've had a couple of dealing charges with juveniles this year, so. Staying within the juvenile side of things, the juvenile administrative fund, which was the 2050 that now has to be moved into 2150 in accordance to the IC code for State Board of Accounts. We don't bring in enough money for this account, so we're not asking for anything in this budget, and I don't know how that will work, because we can only use administrative fees to pay for salaries. And the only salary that we will be paying for would be our part-time secretary, and that's gonna come out of our juvenile administrative fund. So we're not asking for anything in the juvenile administrative, because we have nothing that we can pay for out of it. And I'm still trying to get answers back from State Board of Accounts on how to proceed forward with this and what we can use it for. But for right now,
Out of the prosecutor's budget?
no. I don't know much about it. I will be completely honest with you. This was kind of sprung on me in March with State Board of Accounts, and then also as well as the auditor's office too. I mean, they didn't really know much about it either until this year. I guess we will learn as we go.
And then they'll change the rules.
Midway through the year. You guys have any questions on that? Basically, we can't use administrative funds for anything other than salaries. So, for the adults, Fund 2101, this is our adult supplemental. We had to, our part-time fund, which was the 1701 part-time, has to be moved to Fund 2000 in accordance with the IC code, and this is the one where we had to take our part-time salary and pay that out of administrative funds instead of supplemental. But in our adult supplemental, we are asking in account 15031, we're asking for $12,000, and this would be for our conference, registration, lodging, and this is due to our number of staff that we have and wanting to attend more trainings. We have had additional trainings that we can go to for this year, which I did send a probation officer to sex offender field training. So she is certified now to do computer searches and whatnot for sex offenders. I would like to send someone else to that next year as well, and then just continue to build off that. That way we all are certified in field searches for sex offenders. And then we also have a juvenile judicial conference that has been opened up this year. This is new, so I would like to send I would like to send both of our juvenile probation officers to that next year. This year, I'm kind of piggybacking off of circuit court to see if they can pay for one of our juvenile probation officers to go to it this year, but that is something new as of 2026. And then also in account 32300, our travel, mileage, and lodging, I'm asking for $5,000, also due to the number of staff that we have and more training opportunities.
So are you planning on a lot of training additional for the rest of the year? Because your expenditure as far as conferences and registration and stuff is not.
We have our fall conference that we're attending at the beginning of September that we all go to. And then honestly, depending on how much money we have left over out of that will depend on if I send our other juvenile probation officer to that juvenile justice conference in October.
Okay.
So we have the money still to spend for the remaining of the year, but we still have a lot of trainings and conferences to go to for the rest of the year that we haven't been able to spend the money for yet.
Okay.
And where are they located, the conferences?
So the one that we all attend in September is in French Lick. The one that's coming up, which is the Juvenile Judicial Conference, is up in Indianapolis. Most of them that we all attend, there's the spring conference, which is in Indianapolis, falls in French Lick, and then now we have the juvenile one that will also be in Indianapolis. It's hard to say too, because our bigger ones are in the fall, which is after the budget hearings.
Any other questions for Shelby?
Shelby, I know we had some discussions about your individual compensation in the past. Can you update us where that is now, or?
On the hours that I have acquired in comp time,
Yes.
is that what you're talking
Yes.
about? I have, it's gotten better. I still have about 32 hours in comp time, but I will use those before the end of the year. And I've talked to both of the judges. I'm well aware that I will not have that come 2027. And it's just using those hours before rolling into the first of the year.
Okay, and then we had to put, and I don't remember the exact thing when you got to position salary was, but we had to put a stipend in there for you also.
Yeah.
Where are we at on that? Have your regular pay increased yet, or how does that work? There was some kind of timeline I think we were working on, your compensation.
I don't recall. I know the stipend, that's the minimum salary schedule for the state, so I would have to get that because of my role as the chief, but I don't,
Has that gone up again this year, or not? It has not?
everything has stayed the same from the past 2 years.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And then real quick, that Fund 2000, the adult administrative, this is the one where we're paying our part-time salary out of the adult administrative fund. So asking zero in the juvenile administrative, but asking for our part-time salary to be paid out of adult administrative.
Everybody good? Tom, good?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
This is, but it's under,
Dale, you wanna give us the good news?
Yes, that's right, I saw it.
and that's,
So that's what we have to do.
yes.
Didn't have much modified except for down in the license renewals and computer hardware, I guess. We are due for some internal infrastructure. Some of the switches we've been using, we got in 2012.
Which one are you talking about, which line?
I'm down on 44.6 and 45.2.
Okay, I'm down there then, okay.
Yeah, they're quite a bit more than normal.
Where are you?
I said some of our switches were bought in 2012. They're end of life. They're still running, but if they break, we had an original quote of about $90,000 to do that, and I gave it to Nick, and he chopped that down and got it. He thinks we can get it for about 47. Replace the switches we need to. So I kind of spread that across those two because part of it's hardware and part of it's the coverage for those. We are in need of, Crystal, the assessor, helped us get some storage last year. Well, it kind of alternates. Storage goes out, and then the next thing you need servers on top of those storage. Well, servers are coming out. I estimated about $60,000, $20,000 a piece. Got the quote. It's in there, $190. So a stick of memory that used to cost, because of all the great things happening in the world, a stick of memory that used to cost about $1,300 is now $6,700. Once again, gave that to Nick. He thinks that if we buy the memory on our own, that we can probably get by with about right at 100, save about $90,000 on memory if we do it ourselves. So I asked Crystal to budget $150 for the servers. So when she comes in here later and that's in there, I asked her to budget that number. I think it'll be $150 if Cisco will let you buy your own memory. Kind of like wanting to buy a Chevy and put a Ford motor in it. They may not let us, but we're gonna try. It's just, but it gets down to, we gotta have them. It's like roads. I mean, we gotta have the computers. We use them too much now. But, yeah, everything else, I probably will keep the same. I think, I may have to come see you for the end of the year on my 45-200. We had some things go on, like the community corrections ordered a camera system, and then there wasn't any sense of putting it in there. Well, I may use part of that camera system somewhere else, and she can't pay for it if I use it at the highway department, so I just paid for it out of IT, so I can use it wherever I need to, and I figure if I run low, I'll come back and explain to you guys why. But no, this year so far, we're sitting really good. We've got some new projects going, which you can see out the door there, back and forth and up and down.
Dale, last year we talked about docking stations.
Yes. We put those in, Shelby got docks. There's been no PCs bought this year, anything we've bought this year. Dan got some right at the beginning of the year, but they were kinda already in progress when in his Superior Court, but anything that's been bought this year has either been docking stations with a laptop or docking station using laptops they had, so we're trimming down.
We talked about the commissioners coming out with a policy on that.
They do.
They did?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And we've been through a scenario where I had to make a recommendation and it wasn't favored, but we worked through it, and at the end, it's just more efficient to do it this way.
Awesome, that's great to hear.
One machine's always cheaper than two across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Backside of it from managing that machine, you got antivirus, you got us with updates, you got us worried, now we're fixing two instead of one, so, I mean, it helps. Not just in cash. But,
Good.
yeah.
Every additional machine or computer, laptop, whatever that's hooked into the system is one more access point for,
And one more risk.
Yeah.
One more risk too for everything you hook to it, so. Yeah, if we could get everybody down to a single, everybody can't do a single device, but if we get everybody down to a single device, we could move some more people around, have more time to move people. But, like I said, most of my other stuff didn't go up, but I mean, I think we're always gonna see renewals in hardware, probably gonna creep up a little every year. I try to keep it, I mean, my actual renewals calculation there showed me about 200,000 for renewals next year, and I'm budgeting whatever I'm budgeting there, thinking that, well, if I do a 3-year instead of a 5 and save some money here and there, I can work with those and get them down, which is what we did on like our switches. We haven't had to pay switch maintenance for 5 years now. It was $13,000 a year, or we got 5 years for 33, and that's just, if we're gonna use that stuff, we might as well take the discount. But, I don't have any question, wants, or needs. I'm happy.
Anything else for Dale?
Good shape?
Really appreciate you, Dale.
Thank you.
yes, absolutely.
Thank you all. You guys make it a little easier.
Thank you.
Let's see, Davis County Solid Waste, County Highway, local road and street, Beal Creek,
Okay, so we're half an hour
Reporter.
ahead.
Guess we jump into the sheriff.
From here.
It's coming from here, yes.
Okay. This one doesn't need highlighted, but the other one does.
Right.
Okay.
Hello, Steve.
Good morning again. First one's the sheriff's budget. Okay, so for the wages, I just followed the wage committee's recommendation. On the holiday pay there, I just wanted to point out, that was decreased the idea is that 2 people will be assigned to the courthouse next year. Typically, when the courthouse is closed for a holiday, courthouse will go out and work patrol. They receive the holiday pay as well. You guys being assigned to the courthouse next year, they've already done that for many years, and they just asked if they could just stay home that day. So I didn't include them in holiday pay. That was reduced.
How are you doing on employees? Are you got enough staff, or are you behind, or
We're fully staffed.
fully staffed?
We have an officer, Nathan Cox, he's graduating from the academy next week. Hired 3 jailers that are in and being trained and whatnot.
Good.
Right now, we're fully staffed.
How are things running at the academy? Are you able to get guys up there fairly timely? I know there for a while, it was kind of hard to.
Yeah, for a while there was like a waiting list, but Nathan got in on the first round.
Okay.
So things
Steve, what's the, on the body cameras and tasers?
Right. I have a note here. So last year, that was 30,000. This year, we requested 50, but we were able to pull 20 grand from a different account and apply it towards that last year.
Okay.
So we kind of saved some money, so that's not an increase. That's what we typically pay. Just last year, we were able to pull that from a different fund and pay for partial.
Yeah. I remember you telling us that now, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Down here on repair and maintenance, it's usually about 55,000. I just have a note to myself I wanted to share with you guys about vehicles in general. Typically, I've heard from insurance and mechanics that 100,000 miles on a police car is about the equivalent of 300,000 miles on a normal car. So some years we have some pretty significant vehicle repairs, other years we don't. It's just hit and miss, but we try to trade them off about every 4 years, get the 100,000 mile mark.
How about the radios?
Radios?
Yeah, can they be reused or?
Oh, yeah, so.
You do?
Yeah, so when we trade off a car, typically what we do is we strip all the equipment into that, and then whatever fits into the next vehicle, we move over, which your radars, your radios, they always roll over. It's the lighting fixtures and the console sometimes it doesn't fix.
Okay.
And so we always try to reuse what we can.
All right.
And then some years it's difficult because you may have a Ford Explorer this year, that's a 2022, and you may order a 2026 next year, but even though it's the same vehicle, they still don't match up.
Oh, all right, so I'm gonna give you a math thing here.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this year you're saying, we budgeted 158,000 for vehicles.
We budgeted what?
For new cars, 148.8. See it down there, line 44400. Line 51 on there.
In the 26 budget.
Yeah, in the 26 budget, 148,820.
You probably only have the
I
27.
got the 27, yes.
Okay.
So last year.
All right, let me just,
Sure.
you'll be able to handle it.
Sure.
140, so 150,000, say.
Sure.
And we're spending 40,000 on radio replacements. Okay? This year.
Okay,
So next year, you're saying we're gonna only spend 80,000 on vehicles,
yeah.
but the radios are still 30,000, which is only 10,000 less. That was why my question.
So that cars and radios equipment, that's building the entire car. Lights, sirens, radios, all that stuff.
I'm just saying it doesn't, percentage-wise.
Oh, so I see what you're saying. So-
Percentage-wise, it doesn't match up. So it should be like 20,000.
For this year?
No,
For next year.
for next year. Yeah.
Come here.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if that's a proper analogy.
Well, maybe not. I don't know.
So look.
I'm just looking at the ratio.
So you had 100, almost 150 last year.
One would think that.
It was this
Yeah,
year.
I mean, that's why I got
40,000,
questioned.
But then 80, so he's saying this
Oh, I
is
see.
this is not,
It should be less.
yeah.
Right.
That's what I was trying to.
No, I see what you're saying.
That radio fund goes for,
Right.
siren goes out,
Okay, so some of it's for maintenance and stuff too.
Correct. So typically a brand new car is built for about $20,000, but our guy's doing it for 7 to 10 because we can reuse a lot of stuff. But Gary and I have been trying to track it. Like when we move lights from one vehicle to the next vehicle, you only get about 2 vehicles out of those lights, and some of them go out. You flip the switch, and only
Got it.
the red ones come on. So, yeah.
All right, I understand.
No,
That was just my question.
Yeah. Good point, though. Yeah, this year, on the vehicles, we only needed the 2 vehicles this
That's
year.
good, yeah.
So,
So, and then what did you guys say earlier in terms of, I just want to make a note for next year.
so just glancing at the vehicle list next year, I counted about 6.
Yes.
However, that's potential. We might be able to stretch a few of them out. And that was just glancing.
That'd be good if we could kind of
Yeah,
Right.
like spread
go
that out a little
about
more.
the same amount every year instead of big
Exactly,
jumps
yeah.
up and down.
Yeah.
But it's like Gary said, you can't, one of them's an
Yeah,
accident or total.
can't
it's-
predict it. I get it, yeah.
That's all I had on the sheriff's budget, unless you guys have any other specific comments or questions.
I think I'm okay on that.
Ready for security center?
Yep.
Okay, on that one, again, on the wage committee, I followed the recommendation. I did include the 5 admin for the additional, that aspect of it. Typically, every year, the increases on the security centers, your medical and your meals for prisoners, they go up every year, 3 to 5%. Institutional medical, that covers our contract with our medical provider, prescription, dental, off-site medical stuff.
You had on your gas, basically the same. and I didn't know. I mean, some folks were increasing gas, but
We're just,
in, oh, that's natural, that's true, okay, it'd be natural gas, wouldn't it? Okay,
mileage and whatnot, yeah.
okay.
I kept that the same. The one thing I wanted to talk about, I put it in here and I thought maybe I should, after I did it, I thought maybe I shouldn't have, but at least want to address it, is under computer, hardware, software, and supplies.
Yes.
That's my question.
Yeah. So traditionally, that's $70,000. The reason for the 250 was, one of the 5-year projects that we had planned was to replace all the cameras within the security center. So to do that was, I mean, I have the numbers here. I don't think, it's $177,000, I believe, that replaced it, all the cameras. There was like 98 of them, 2 digital video recorders, and several other things that are part of that system. So I took that 177,000, just rounded it up to 180, and then added the 70, and that's how I got 250. A second option would be just to replace the 2 digital video recorders and no cameras, and then maybe replace cameras over just a batch at a time over every few years. That was about $75,000. So if it was just to do that, then I would request 150. But if we didn't want to do either one of those 2 options this year, then I would just request a normal 70,000.
How many cameras?
So there's 98 cameras
88.
throughout the entire security center.
How many?
98.
98.
Yeah. So, and I know that our IT guys, Jeff Riker, every now and then there's just a batch of cameras that'll go down. So he has to go in and reset the DVR, then it kind of brings everything back to life and they start recording. We have them everywhere, and I don't think there's a place you can go other than maybe the restroom. I don't
Keep that in mind when we're visiting.
The average kind of lifespan of those cameras, I know the way technology changes. You know, how-
I'm thinking 8 to 10 years,
8 to 10 years.
and we're about on year 9.
So is Jeff and Dale good with the cameras you want to
Yeah,
put back in?
Jeff is the one that gave us the estimate and got it from SAS. It's with SAS, it's with the current people who installed the system.
As long as they're good and compatible with everything else and they approve of it, then
But I at least wanted to give some options, so to say, on that. So.
Again, would it present any additional maintenance and technology challenges if you did it incrementally? Like, so if you bought, you got 98 cameras, say you bought 20 cameras 1 year and.
That's what I was thinking. I don't think it would. Like if we just did the 2 digital video recorders and then 20 or 25 cameras every few years. I don't.
Well, but my question though is if, again, what if that camera goes out of production or whatever?
Oh, I see.
Then now you're gonna have a mix of different cameras in the system. Would that be a?
That's a good question. I'd have to ask Jeff.
Current cameras you have, are they all around the same age?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, there's been a handful of them that have been replaced, so some of them over there are still new, or newer, I should say. Most part, all of them.
The last time they were replaced, it must have been a mass, replaced
Yes.
all of them at once.
Yeah. Well, the last time it was the new system, so I think I probably replaced maybe half a dozen of them over the last few years. But to your point, Darren, I see what you're saying. If we started ordering 20 at a time, and then year 3, they discontinue that camera, and it's a new set.
That's why I say, if you bought them all at one
Right.
setting,
Yeah.
then everything's the same. And if you even bought a couple spares, but if you're piecemealing over time, you're gonna get a different variety of stuff, and it may not all be, the compatibility may not all,
Sure.
might be an issue, I don't know.
So what's your suggestion? Do it all at once or split? You had some other kind of thing you were half, I don't know, the 150 versus the.
Yeah, if we could do it all at once and be done with it, that'd be great. That camera system would probably be good for another 8 to 10 years.
Okay. And the other option was?
The other option would be to replace the 2 digital video recorders, and then just do cameras like a batch at a time over the next few years.
I don't like that idea.
Yeah, I don't think
No.
that
they'll discontinue and they'll have better cameras.
Yeah.
And then they won't be compatible with the old ones.
I would think you may be getting a discount for buying 98
Yeah.
versus
I think
20
so
as
too,
well.
yeah.
so-
Who's the negotiator?
Put Dale on there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was my point.
yeah, I'm with you
Yeah, I
on
think-
that.
I think
I
that's-
agree.
Yeah, if we can afford it, that's the thing to do. Play the
Yeah.
ball.
That's all that's the only comments I had on the security center, unless you guys have any other items you want.
Good.
Misdemeanor fund?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yep, usually we just schedule that for a time jail employee.
Which one are we on now?
However, we,
Fund.
Oh,
that's the same every year as far as I know, that amount.
that's what it was.
Yeah. Operation pullover, is that grant money?
Yeah, Operation Pullover is grant money. Like this year, they asked for about, we're still in the, I think it's in September. Apply for that again. I know it's in September, apply for it again. But he's gonna ask for the close to $55,000.
And the boater safety's grant money too, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's grant money as well. That's about 10 grand a year that we get on that.
Questions for Steve? Any other?
I thank
Thank
you
you.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Jump back up to Holly? He's ready? You can find it.
Basically, the increases in our budget from this year to next was the wages. We did add some water sample. We got some IDM stuff that we're dealing with, and that's kind of we're not sure exactly what that's gonna be. And fuel. And next year's a permit year to renew our permit.
Where is he?
Where is your permit in your budget? Where's it showing up? So, and I
That's on
assume-
the, that's on the license fee. It's right at 18,000. It's on 393.
License and user fees?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
$3.93.
And that's just the fee you have to pay the state?
Right.
You're buying new equipment, the 45,000?
Okay, well, the new equipment is actually a pickup.
Okay.
The one I got now is, would be 11 years old, and it's got
Time
a
for a
few
new one.
miles on it.
Yeah.
How is the life of the landfill? What are we looking at?
The engineer estimate and everything says we're still, at 25 to 30 years. you know, there's a few things that we're working on for the future to make it as long as we can. There's a few things we're doing, so our dirt would be the main problem. But right now, we've been we got a lot of dirt from the Kenneburg Road job, and then, I don't know if the, 650 job, if it ever comes to pass, we'd like to have that as well. And the city, the highway job, we got a lot of dirt from it, the Highway 50 job,
Okay.
so that all helps.
Yeah. Did we look like the fee system's gonna stay about the same for the?
We've discussed that, and they did implement a little bit higher minimum fee, which I think that was great. Where I think it added up to be $15 minimum to cross the scales.
Okay.
Instead of 10 something. So, I mean, most people pay, are at the minimum.
Yeah.
I think it's gotta be, 1,200 pound to be over the $15, so.
Okay.
But I don't know, I'd say we'll probably have to increase the 2560 in the near future. But getting with the city of Washington, they're kind of the big, they gotta kind of know where they're at.
Thank you.
So on your, on your salaries, did you implement the county's 3.5?
Yes.
Okay.
Bob, do you know what your budget was last year, the overall total amount?
Yeah, I think from last year to this year, it's up 130, 132, 245.
Say that again, please.
132,000, 245.
How much they've taken in so far this year?
Of course, a good chunk of that is that pickup you talked about purchasing.
Right, yeah, I think the wages are, just shy of 30. The truck is 45. Our water sampling, we increased it 20. The permit is 18, and our fuel, we upped it 20,000.
Don't take much to add up to it, does it?
So that pretty well is it.
Yeah.
But you increased your fees, so you should expect additional income as well.
Yes, it all helps.
We don't have that number here, but last year, there wasn't a wide spread between fees versus total cost.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it's still, even though it's user fee paid, supported, whatever, however you want to say it, but our constituents still have to pay that fee.
Yeah.
And so it's still, in essence, a tax. It's just a different kind of tax.
Yeah.
So I just want to emphasize, we need to keep our fees as low as we can keep them and still maintain service that we're providing to our residents.
I know people from surrounding counties, they call one which they're not allowed to, but people don't realize how lucky they are to have. You go spend $15 and get rid of a load of trash.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for certain.
Yeah, I can remember though, it doesn't seem like it's been that long time, or however many years, but, I remember paying $6 for a load, and it doesn't seem like it was all that long ago, but it probably has been.
Probably longer than you think.
Yeah, I'm sure it has, but.
You didn't stop halfway, don't want to throw it in the ditch or something?
No.
Well, I just want to say I'm on that board. I'm our representative on the solid waste board. Of course, I'll be going off that at the end of the year, so anybody's interested in that, be thinking about it. But Bob has done a terrific job out there. He had to take over literally weeks into COVID in 2020. He passed away, and Bob's really had to step in and his feet held to the fire right away, and he's done a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you much.
guessing, looking at the list and looking at the crowd, Rosetta. Maybe you're next.
Good morning.
Morning, Rosetta.
I think all my stuff is gonna stay the same. I didn't change anything from last year, except for just the salary, and so, I don't know.
I didn't
I
have a
don't really know
single.
what else to say.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you need information
yeah.
from anything else.
No, I mean, your
Everything, I think we
your total
lessened
budget only
some
went up
funds
$6,000.
last year.
Yeah, you only went up $6,000, and that's all salaries and benefits.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, everything's pretty good. Like when I pay the software, the annual software, it all comes out of the Recorder Perpetuation Fund. So, you know,
Yeah.
the only thing would just be the redaction, and we've got enough to cover all of that. So basically, everything's good, I think.
yeah.
Looks fine to me.
Certainly enjoy working with you.
Yes.
I'm trying to make.
Yeah, yours.
If everyone was as easy as the recorder's office.
Yeah,
to deal with,
yours,
well,
yours is always pretty easy. Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah,
So
if you
thank-
need anything else, just let me know.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Got dispatch sitting there.
Dispatch?
Are you gonna be easy, Julie?
No.
Alrighty. You want to start with the county general or the E911?
General.
Okay.
General's first.
I think everything was pretty much kept the same.
How'd you get your overtime so low?
Well, that is what we normally budget for.
Okay.
Currently, I have 4 open positions. However, I have 2 people in training, so technically I am down 6 fully trained dispatchers. You know, we're doing our best to keep people in those chairs. I'm very thankful at this point that I have not had to mandate overtime. I have had people volunteer. I myself have changed my schedule from a Monday through Friday. I'm working every single weekend to try to help fill in, to accommodate people's vacations, because I don't want my staff to get burnt out while we're trying to cover our shortcomings. So,
Well, do you
you
think
know.
it's reasonable to budget just 10,000 then when, I mean, you've been spending a heck of a lot more than that.
right, and, you know, thankfully, not thankfully, I don't know how I want to put that, but I was able to transfer that money out of a vacant salary line instead of having to come to you guys to ask for additional money for overtime. You know, I am hoping that by the time we get these 2 trained, we can get another, you know, round of applicants and kind of keep rolling with it.
All right, I'm good.
I mean, I would love not to have to keep coming back and, you know,
Yeah.
transferring money for overtime. I'm really hoping that we can get to a place that we're staffed adequately. You know, we've just had some things come up. We lost one of our dispatchers to the sheriff's office. It's okay, we won't hold it against him, but, you know, it's just, you know, there's a multitude of factors of things that go into. Our job is not easy, and people don't realize that. So it takes a lot to do our job. And
So when this was put together, you were showing 4 vacancies. Where you at today then?
still at 4.
Still at 4, but you got 2.
I got 2. They started. Yeah, I got both of them on there. They started like right before this was submitted, so I was able to include those 2 on there. So yeah, the 4 vacancies are still accurate.
Okay.
What's your training time frame when you hire somebody, to when you feel comfortable letting them be there?
It varies on the person. Like, I can use the 2 that we have right now, for example. I have one that she's doing really good with, like, or she's progressing the way she should with the computer work, talking on the phone. She's kind of struggling with the radio, so we're having to take extra dedicated time to work with her on that. The other one, she's as confident as can be talking on the radio because she's got some former, like she was involved with 4-H, so she did some public speaking there. It's the computer stuff she's a little bit slower on. Every person learns it different. Some people pick up on it extremely fast. Our last hire that we had prior to these two, he did extremely well, and we were able to kind of move through his training process a little faster than some could, but we don't want to rush it. We want to make sure that, you know, we are adequately training these people and giving them the tools that they need to be successful. So I'm not sitting there having to hold their hands because I don't want to sit there and micromanage them. It doesn't work for anybody, but I don't want them to be rushed because when we rush them, that only harms them and everybody else. So, salary-wise, I had sent some information over to the wage committee because I wasn't able to meet with them due to being gone at a conference. Of salary increases I like, that was kind of rebutted and then went off, submitted what you guys had suggested. As far as salaries, the dispatchers are getting close to being kind of about average throughout the state. Myself and my assistant are still on the lower end of the state. I am probably one of the, if not the lowest paid director for an independent dispatch agency in the state. So, but we went off what you guys had recommended for our salaries. Any other questions on the dispatch one?
Questions?
Do you have that salary information on your position and the assistant?
I do believe I sent that over to Jen. If not, I'd be more than happy to send it to Jen again, and she can forward it on to you guys.
Why don't you do, well, Jen might still have it, I don't know, but if you could do that, that would be
Yeah,
helpful.
when I sent I had typed up, just because I was away at a conference when you guys did the
remember.
wage committee, I typed something up. I also just included that attachment. I think previously I had printed out and give it to you guys a hard copy, but I had sent it to her. So if she doesn't, I'll get with her. If she doesn't have it, I'd be more than happy to send it to you. It's just information that each director submits. They send it out, each director can submit their information on different things, and then we can kind of use that to maybe help in these circumstances.
Send it to us, we'll have it for
Yeah,
the work
sure.
session. Thank you.
The 911 fund?
Yep.
Yeah. Again, with that, salaries are the same. I went ahead and cut down a little bit in my part-time. We currently aren't utilizing that fund, but I do like to still keep it in case I am able to get a part-timer, say maybe they work at another agency and they want more hours somewhere else, and that actually helps us out because they're semi-trained. We kind of just have to train them on the ways that we do things here. But currently we're not utilizing that. The school guard, so we were able to do away with that, so that's saving us a little over $14,000 a year. We do have a better thing that we utilize now. We've been doing a lot of training with all emergency services in the county. We've found a solution that is utilized through our CAD system and some applications that the fire departments and EMS already use, and law enforcement has also acquired those as well. So we were able to save that. So I had to put it in there because at the time when I was submitting this, we hadn't got that canceled, but that is not going to be in there anymore. The only other thing is the code red that is paid out of this budget. Myself, the sheriff, Sturgis, Scott Myers had met with another company because we've been having some issues with the code red countywide, and Scott could probably, I just pay for it out of my fund. Scott can probably speak more to it if he needs to, but we kind of were looking at some other options because obviously we want to get our money's worth out of it because we pay a portion, GPC pays a portion. I think it's, our portion's around $7,500. They pay the same amount. Excuse me. The one that we are looking for, it's cheaper. It's only like $6,200, $6,500. Don't quote me on that. It's been a little bit since I looked at those numbers. But it is cheaper, and that's for the total amount. That's not just our portion.
Oh my God, it's cut in
So-
half then, more than half.
So we've been trying to, get Mercs with that, and it hasn't been said whether GPC is still gonna contribute half of that or not. Again, I don't have a lot to do with it, it's just paid out of my budget, so just kind of bringing you to that attention, but again, we're still budgeting for that.
There have been issues with that Code Red system this year. You get alerts from way far away.
Yes.
And Knox County, I think, has already started to move away.
They've done
from
away with it, and the system that we're looking at is what they are utilizing. I know personally myself, I have muted and silenced those things because I got sick of waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning for a thunderstorm that was in Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
So, other than that, the only thing is the equipment line. I think I ask for the same every year. It's been cut every year. As earlier this morning, my 911 maintenance agreement alone is almost $24,000. And then there are other things that are paid out of that. So, I mean, I do, depending on when I get the invoice, I may have to come back to you guys later to ask for an additional appropriation for some things out of that fund. So,
So leave it alone.
please, but.
That was a subliminal message there.
And this is the money that we get from the state, from the cell phone 911 tax fee. It can only be used for certain things. So, obviously, our radio equipment is one of those eligible expenses, along with the other things that are in here. So, we can't, it's not like it can be used for, I can't even buy like a desk to sit our radio on out of that fund. They're so specific about what it's used for. So obviously, if it can't come out, trying to avoid using it out of the county general, try to use what we can out of here. If not, then I'm gonna have to be asking more out of the county general fund. And then I have also brought up the past couple of years, just to kind of keep it in the back of your mind, we are probably gonna be looking at having to purchase a new 911 system in the next 3 to 5 years, possibly. So that is an eligible expense out of the 911 fund. Our surplus has been significantly dwindled because that was used to pay for the radio project outside of dispatch. So I did reach out to Motorola, who our current provider is for our 911 system, and got a quote for a new one, just out of information purposes only, and it was about $650,000. And that's today, so who's to say what it's gonna be in the next 3 to 5 years? Obviously I'm gonna try to get as much longevity out of our current 911 system. They're not doing anything, they're obviously honoring their maintenance agreements, but we're getting yearly maintenance agreements, and as you see, that's $24,000 a year. The estimate that I did get for the new 911 system was a 5-year agreement, which included maintenance. But just kind of keeping that a note to yourself. Like I said, I'm gonna do my best to extend the life of it if we can, but if they're gonna start phasing it out, then it's something that we need to be thinking about for the future.
Something to look forward to.
And what'd you say, 6 what?
It was around 650,000. But, as we all know, things go up every year.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Julie? Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Chris? Now we get into the bigger dollar items.
Maybe. I tried to be real conservative this year with when we actually was planning the budget, we didn't know for sure when we were gonna get the gas tax holiday back and all that stuff, so we tried to be conservative in case the time lapse of the government sometimes is slow. We got paid back, so I thought I did a good job on it. I don't know if You guys want me to tell you anything, or you want to go through there and ask questions why certain things are at different amounts?
Yeah, anything that pops out to you that you want to tell us that's really different.
The Cume Bridge, or do you want to stay at MVH first?
Let's do MVH first.
Okay.
Yeah, MVH first.
Let me grab my MVH and I'll look here and see if there's something that's,
Looking at the stone on there, that's up big. And then the maintenance repair bituminous is up really big.
it's the same as what it has been. I mean, them are our two biggest things. I've got a spreadsheet, and I should have brought it and showed you. I've tracked for the last 5 years, what I actually track each year, what our appropriation is, what our encumbrance is, what our ending balance is, what our disbursements are, and then I got another column that takes every year and adds them together and gives me my average for the last 5 years. I was actually up north when they called, so I didn't get to go by and print it off and bring it in. So I think the stone and bituminous it's been the same. It's two of our bigger spenders, but they're our biggest needs. And I've got confidence in you guys that if we got $100 in there and I need more, I can come back and get it. But it slows down the process and stops it, because sometimes you got to have the money there to be able to get what you need to get when you could get it. Right now, we're talking about maybe not being able to haul stone out tomorrow because we don't have enough stone. So it's the trucking, it's kind of tied to the trucking, being able to get it. You got to have the money to get it when the opportunity arises with it too. And then we try to do that and try to stay in compliance with the State Board of Accounts and purchasing stone out of a restricted account. But that stone and bituminous in there gets split to restricted. Half of it goes as restricted, half of it stays in 1176, the other half goes to 1173, which we're required to put half of it in there. We're required to use half of it, but there's also things we can and can't do with that money. So
I'm just looking at the bituminous in there, like your budget this year's 500,000, but next year you got $1 million.
well, that gets split. So there should be 1173 and 1176 account. So it'd go in each one of them. So I think this, unless I'm saying it wrong, Jen, you might know, but it,
Well,
yeah.
Split into 1173.
So if you're seeing a 500,000, it's always been $1 million, but it gets split.
I understand. Got it.
Good job, Misty.
I don't even see 1173.
That's the restricted account.
Yeah, be one of these others coming up.
I don't even have that.
Maybe not.
with me.
I couldn't find it.
I don't think you have it. I think you
Don't
just
get
have the
that one.
1176.
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically, I've got a paper with me that has some of that information. So what we're required to do, to take half of our money that we get and spend it, so that it's construction, reconstruction, and preservation that it has to spend on. So what the NDOT and the Federal Highway Administration does not want people to do, they don't want to get let's say you get $1 million. They don't want you to take that $1 million and everybody's driving around in brand new pickup trucks and brand new equipment and a new office and all that, and the roads are falling to
Like
pieces.
shit, yeah.
So they require us to take half of that appropriated money and put it in a restricted account, and it can only be used for construction, reconstruction, and preservation. So we don't buy equipment out of it. You can't do salt and sand out of it. You can't do maintenance items out of it. It's basically to build new roads or to preserve the roads that are existing. So that's just, it's not something that we budget, but it's something that it's budgeted through there and split, and I actually don't know for sure how that works. But like on 1173.
How do they monitor that?
Do what?
How do they monitor that?
They monitor, like, to me, it's been a pain for the last 4 years, I think. The auditors come down, the State Board of Accounts, and they really watch that account. So they usually pull 10 samples every year of what we purchased out of that 1173, which is the restricted account, and make sure it's qualified or qualifies And I think I got rode up 2 times, the first 2 times or something out of it. But it's kind of different, and I mean, we'll get off on a tangent here. I know you don't got that much time, but they want me to take, we got an asphalt plant. To make asphalt, we need stone. We're building projects, we need stone at the yard, and out of that restrictive account, I'm technically not supposed to bring rock to the yard. I can't put stockpile, that doesn't qualify restricted. I can't put yard. They're wanting me to take it out to the job. And there's been times in the past, you know, where that has worked, but it don't really work anymore. If I got a crew of guys sitting out there on the road waiting for trucks to come, if they can bring me 800 or 1,000 ton of stone, then it makes the guys out there's job, you know, makes them keep going. But the trucking companies will say that, and then next thing you know, we got 300 ton of stone. So, and the guys that haul stone, no offense, but they don't spread. They dump. All these trucking companies dump, and they bring long wagons. Can't take long wagons out in the middle of the country and dump it. So it's really hard to buy out that restricted fund to buy our stone to do our roads. And but they do monitor it very heavily. You can pay labor out of it and track and stuff, but we don't. I think our philosophy in the highway department is we want as much money as we have available to go to the infrastructure and the roads and the bridges. So we're not trying to take advantage of it and subsidize our payroll with it or our insurance.
Good with the MVR, MVH.
So there's a couple things that did change on the MVH still. Like if you see the hardware went up from 7,000 to 10,000, and the signs went up from 25,000 to 35,000. So if we get to the Kuhn Bridge, we were paying a lot of that stuff for signs and hardware for signs and other things out of Kuhn Bridge, out of steel. We had a category in there in steel. And I like to pay for signs out of signs. I don't like to pay for signs out of steel. I like to pay for signposts out of signs and not out of steel. We got to have a little bit of steel, so I basically reduced in the Kuhn Bridge, which is a little bit more local dollars, and kind of designated it to signs. When I look at my sign budget and it says $25,000, and you know, that's what it was, but we're spending $35,000 on signs. I want to know what we're spending on signs, and sometimes if it gets taken out of a different account, you don't realize, oh, we're spending a lot more money on signs than what we thought. So them went up because I switched it. A couple of the other things that are in there, like the old US 50's in there, and it actually went down, but it's still up at $337,000. So that's got to be appropriated to pay the bills, but then we get 80%, and I think that we get 80% and some of them 90% back out of it, but I still got to put them numbers in there because it's a pay and return on it. So if I only put $10,000 in there because that's our matching portion, but I've got to pay $300, well, it's not appropriated to spend that. I think the salt, we brought the salt down a little bit. The pavement markings have went down considerable in this and the Kuhn Bridge. When we were starting out, we needed some equipment. We needed to buy the paint. We needed to buy the beads. Now we've got a little bit of a stockpile of that. So we should be good to go. And when you get into the pavement marking from here on out, that number should stay relatively close to where it's at now, 10,000, or it should even go down. Time is a factor on how much we can paint. We planned on painting in July and August, and we're in August, and we haven't painted yet. The salt, you know, we bulked it up there to start to get some salt storage to begin with, and I think we got a nice little stockpile of it. I don't see anything else that's really changed drastically. I know we talk about, if it's in here, gasoline. and tires are big things. And at one time, we raised the gas because the fuel was going up, and then we had a meeting in here one time, and we're like, hey, it's going down. So we brought it, and then it went back up. And I think, I should have looked, but I think if we fill up one of our tanks, it might have been $20,000 to fill the tank. And when the gas prices rose, it was double. It was like $40,000 to fill that same tank. So we burned through it. You know, we do have fully staffed. We got one guy that Jason's going to hire hopefully here soon. But we're building more miles than that we typically build. So when we're building that, we're using more equipment. And, you know, and even this winter, we burned through a lot of gas this winter for fuel. When you're pushing stone and you're pushing snow, you're burning fuel. And we like to keep all of our equipment running and all of our guys going, and it burns a little bit of fuel. You know, I don't know, 10 years ago, I think we were doing 10-mile road, and we'd get 8 to 10-mile road, and now we've been trying to get 10 to 15, and last year we hit 18. So them added miles are good, but it comes with a cost. And I think the overwhelming majority of the population and everybody that I've talked to, the main concern with the highway department is turning the gravel roads into hard surface roads. And we say there's going to be a point where we might even be there a little bit, where we got to maintain what we have and quit pushing forward. I'm still pushing forward yet, and we'll figure out how to maintain them as long as they don't fall apart.
Chris, did you have summer help this year?
We did. We had two summer helps, and we had one mower guy. We did a little bit different with the mower. We're not wanting to completely eliminate the two mower positions, but we needed to make some changes with our personnel and how we did things this year. So one of our guys that retired, we let him take the summer mower job. And then the other summer mower job we've been doing in-house, and we've had a little bit of trouble with two of our tractors. We got two tractors. I can't remember what year they are, but they're up about 10,000 hours apiece. One of them's kind of been off and on down. We need to get new tractors, but it's hard for me to pull the trigger to get a new tractor for a part-time summer guy. So I keep pushing these along. But we did some stuff different, so that's why we only filled one of the summer mowers. The summer helps. It's hard to get kids to work. That's just the bottom line. We've advertised and we talked. Laura sent us her boy. I think she made him come out for a little bit. So we had Chuck, and he did a good job. He quit like last week. I think football started up, and I think that's his main thing, football, instead of rolling that at the highway department. And then we had another guy. I don't know who he was. Jason knew him, and they both did a good job. But you see that we didn't have them, and you think, well, let's eliminate them if you don't have them. But you know, it's not a lot of dollars. It's, I think, $8,000 if they do all the hours or to them. That next year, them opportunities might arise again.
Yeah.
To have them guys, and it does help. We use them building roads. Part of the building roads, we got to roll out fabric. It's 15 foot wide, and it's probably weighs 100 pounds, and you just roll fabric all day. And if I have our CDL drivers do that, them are guys that are get paid a little bit more than the summer helpers, and then we lose a truck driver, and then so now we're down production. So we really.
I understand. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, them guys really work hard, and we started putting the email out to all of the county people. Now, we started doing that last year. That's how we get our summer helpers, to kind of give them the opportunity that we're looking, and they send somebody over, and they usually do pretty good, because they know that if not, then I might run into their mom or dad at some point.
Okay, any questions on County Highway before we get into Cume Bridge?
One more quick one. As far as, when you're talking about continuing to blacktop roads, with that comes also down in major part of the county with the buggy traffic, the horses.
Mhm.
How are we doing on as far as taking care of the road, once we do them, as far as the horse traffic and.
So, when you get into the heavily traveled horse area, we're not putting blacktop down on them. So we're still building roads, and but we're chip sealing them with different surface. I think it wears better, it lasts longer. If you got two hard surfaces, the one hard surface, one of them's gonna give, and it's gonna be the blacktop. It's even gonna be the concrete with them horseshoes, the way that they're made, and they got the carbide on them, and it comes down to a point. So we haven't been blacktopping in the Amish area, if you would say, and we have meetings with the Amish Safety Committee, so nothing's new to them. They know that we got designated areas that we call the Amish area in the roads, not discriminating, but also them areas that get damaged have the most traffic and the most businesses and the most houses. And the buggies are not counted in our traffic counts. So when I go up by Raber's Buggy Shop and I see 230 cars a day on the traffic count, that's not buggies. I think one of our roads that would have that much would be Troy Road, and that's almost about the city. It's probably like 600 and something. But a lot of them roads in that area have more traffic, more businesses. Whether it was set up right, whether there should have been an industrial park, and all them businesses should have been put across from Graber Post in an area and funneled that traffic there, instead of somebody building a business that, a mom and pop store, it turns into a multi-million-dollar business in the middle of nowhere. The people are coming, the traffic's coming, and we've got to build the roads, I guess. So we get back from the Amish. I think we do the buggy plates, and they're never going to be even, but I don't know. Jen, do you have them numbers? You probably don't have them with you. I would have them numbers, and I could see them. So we track how many plates that we sell a year, and then that money comes back in the MVH. And we also track the work that we do based on the damage that the horses do. So I don't want to say a number. I can't even think, but I think they're probably up to, with our buggy plates, is like $1 million. And we probably do a little bit more work than that.
That was where I was getting,
Yeah.
are we,
When I got halfway into it, I thought that's probably what you meant, and I don't have that.
are we
information
adequately getting user fees off those buggy plates to compensate for the amount of work we have to do to maintain them roads?
Yeah, and Steve, Sturgis there, Chief Deputy Sturgis, I guess it's supposed to be. He goes to that Amish Safety Committee with us, and so does Gary Allison, and so do the commissioners and Mike Keith, and we talk to him about it, and we're open with him, and I think we're gonna eventually keep raising the buggy plates. The number we had told him, and this was off my radar, but I think we had told him they were gonna be up to $300 a plate. Would you remember that, Mike?
Almost equal.
And we took so whenever we buggy rut, whenever they create that rut, we buggy rut it and we track the expense on that. And then sometimes we don't buggy rut it, we've got to pave the whole road and we track the expense on that, and then we take them numbers to them and we show them this is the amount of damage that you're doing. And that's not even 100%. They do a lot of damage. But the people that are driving on the roads are the ones that's complaining about the gravel and the dust and the traffic, and I don't know.
I mean, it's the double-edged sword. I mean, the more hard surfaces we have,
the more damage we're gonna have.
the more damage you're gonna have. But from a driving standpoint with motor vehicles, it's nicer, and you don't have the dust, and I'm sure everyone loves not having the dust.
Yeah, and then, I don't know if it'd probably been longer than I think, 10 years ago, and, was that, Phil, when you started making the chip seal roads? If people's here, I'm gonna drag them in. I'm gonna talk to Jamie here in a little bit about something. But we started making them chip seal roads, and we started doing them in the Amish area, because we'd do a new, blacktop road, and then within a year or two, them horseshoes would have it dug out, and it's disheartening, but the chip seal roads are 6 inches of stone with calcium on it, and then a layer of chip seal, or 9s and 11s, just a double chip seal, and it kind of gives a little bit. It gives a little bit, and then when it gets real hot in the summertime and with the oil in it, it's a little bit self-healing, not 100%. But to fix that, when it completely wears through and gets bad, we just chip seal it again. And it's, if I overlay a road, a mile of road, it's probably about $80,000 to overlay. If I chip seal a mile of road, it's about $19,000. So that's kind of how we're mitigating that and being careful where we're putting the blacktop.
Thank you.
Hume Bridge.
Hume Bridge. So on the Hume Bridge, you'll see the bridge inspection, and I think we talked about this probably 4 years ago. You know, you look at last year and it's at 45,000, and the year before was maybe 20,000 that were budgeted on them. And then all of a sudden you see this year and it's at 400 and something thousand. So that number is a 80-20 match, but that's the number that we're gonna have to pay this year. We pay that number, we get 80% of it back. These are numbers that are regulated by the Federal Highway and NDOT. NDOT administrates it through the Federal Highway and the requirements that we have a certified bridge inspection company, consulting firm, inspecting all of our bridges on a routine basis. So I've got to have the number there to be able to pay it to get back. So that amount needs to be appropriated, even though we're only going to pay 20% of that because they were going to refund it. And I think the total, this is a new cycle, 2027 to 2030. So this is the first year of the new cycle. So that's that first year, and I think the second year will probably be another 200,000. I think the total package is like $600,000 for the bridge inspection. Again, we paid 20% of that, and out of that 600,000, there's probably, I don't know, $50,000 of stuff that will not be billed to us if we don't use them. It's just in the contract if we need it.
So you'll do roughly a third of the bridges each of the 3 years then, till you get them all inspected?
Yeah, I actually don't know. I never looked to see exactly how many they do, but it's like they got phase 1 and phase 2, and then they got phase 1A and phase 2A, and then they got an underwater inspection, which we got one bridge that does underwater. I don't think it's actually on this year. So yeah, they do so many, but it's some bridges are on a 24-month cycle and some are on a 12-month cycle, and it depends on the type of the bridge. If it's steel beams or precast concrete or wood timbers or whatever it is, they've got to inspect them at certain times. Rail cars, that really drove our price up. We got like 11 or 12 rail car bridges in the county, and last year I think we might have did an additional appropriation on it, even though we still got it returned. I can't remember, but NDOT started, or Federal Highway started requiring the rail car bridges to be inspected every 12 months, and so that added another cost that we didn't have, and it gets expensive because they don't like rail cars, and so we've been changing them. They put them on our list, saying they need to be changed in 2026 and 27. They got dates out when they need to replace them. So that kind of added on to our total for our bridge inspection. But yeah, they probably got it divided up. They do so many a year. The pavement marking in here went down, and you can see the steel and the hardware both went down $10,000 a piece. And then I took the concrete down and the lumber down. I basically took all them down. I did put them in, not the total amount, but that's where I raised the signs and the hardware, because it was getting paid out of stuff that I didn't like the way it tracked,
Yeah,
basically.
you need to be able to follow it yourself.
What about the guardrail?
That's that project, I think.
Yeah, so the guardrail's a project, and probably what'll happen at that is I put zero money in there now, and I'll probably encumber based on the project, what we have left over for this year. So if you look at this year's, balance, where it's at, it's probably at $321,000, and we're gonna be paying some of that out. And then what would be left of that is on the project, so we'll probably just encumber it, and that's why I didn't put a dollar amount in there. Because once we encumber it later on at the end of the year, then that will turn to being appropriated. So we can spend it towards that, and the guardrail is a 90, 10% match. So you get big numbers in there that you do have to pay, but you're getting 90% of that back. And when you get down to the bottom of the list, I think they put them on your list. There's a bunch of, we call them capital outlays, which they're just the different bridges, and the bridges that are on there are bridges that have been, I don't want to say dinged, but they've been put in our book that this bridge needs to be replaced by such and such, this bridge needs to be replaced by such and such in date. And not saying we got to exactly go to that exact date that they can't go over them, but the bridges are in bad shape. That's why they're being put on this list. There's work that needs to be done to them, and they're kind of giving you a date and an estimate on when it needs to be done. And if we're paying, or we're not paying that, but if we're paying $600,000 for the consulting firm that we're required to do to come and give us a list of bridges that need to be replaced, then there's no sense of me or Mike going out and picking whatever bridge we think needs to be replaced. We got a professional firm going out there doing it, so we're gonna, the bridges that they say needs to be replaced, then we're the ones that we're gonna get. So I started putting them on there, and it kind of goes with, you guys had asked one time, and I know I didn't do it or do a good job of it, future expenses and stuff.
Yeah.
So on here, that would kind of be a future expense, even though some of them do not have a dollar amount with them. I've just put them on there, and if you can see my notes, it would tell you, like Bridge 133, it don't have a number. Do you have a Bridge 133 on yours?
Yeah.
So it's on the priority list for replacement in 2027 at $1.6 million.
We don't see that.
So I put 50,000 in there. We're getting some rough estimates right now to buy the beams locally, and the CLR company is one company that's been doing work for us. So we're kind of generating some round numbers of what it was going to cost, so then I can figure out the best way to fund it and when it can be done, and to start asking for that money. Bridge 118's underneath that. That's due for replacement. It's a number 3 bridge in the county at $1.4 million. Bridge 177 is a priority list replacement. It's number 6 on the list. It needs to be replaced in 2030 at $1.6 million. So that's just notes I have, and I thought the best way is to start putting them bridges on this list for you guys to see and to start kind of associating numbers with them. I thought it was too early to maybe to ask for money for 2027 with them, but what I typically have been doing, Bridge 95. So if you back up to that, that was one that we've actually got a grant for it, and over the last couple of years, I think I was putting $40,000 in that, and then we got the grant for it to be replaced, and that's an 80-20% grant. I don't know what our cost is it on it. I think it was a $2.3 million bridge, and we got paid 20% of it. So I start putting a little bit of money in there for that bridge over 2 or 3 years before that, and then we get the grant, I encumber it, and we still have it. So then I'm not coming to you this year and saying, hey, I need $300,000 just for this bridge. So I'm trying to look ahead and starting to put money in there. And that's what that is. What you guys see is not the whole story as far as you know, I should just give you a bunch of notes, I guess. Maybe that's kind of what Tom was asking for one time, but, the bridges would be one thing that would fall under that category. You can see what bridges we have, and again, they're putting them on the list, they need to be replaced, and we can ignore it, we don't have to do it, but we don't wanna get 10 years down the road and have 3 or 4 bridges all at once that need to be replaced.
When you apply for that grant, you put that money in the piggy bank there, you have to spend it in a certain amount of time?
Well, no, but I can't encumber it until I get the contract of the grant. So until I've got a binding contract, with NDOT or whoever, I can't really encumber it, so I put it in there, and then, once I get the contract, I can encumber it, but we've been encumbering on capital outlays, because it's just a long-term vision, a long-term plan, and they've encumbered money on capital outlays probably for 20-plus years, I believe. Looking at Phil, I mean, that's something.
Hiding
that-
back there, yeah.
Yeah, that's something that we've always done. And I know what the rules and regulations are, and sometimes some of the rules and regulations just handcuff a community and their funds. So we're not bending any rules, but that's just something that we've done. I don't know who all watches this meeting, but I hope it's not live. Jen's shaking her head, it's live. Oh, great.
Okay, before we go to local road and street, are we wrapped up on McCune Bridge? Okay, thanks. Local road and street.
So that one I think actually stayed the same. And the biggest thing in that is the stone and the equipment. We could, I don't know how to best say it, but like on the equipment, it's pretty much, the numbers on here is the numbers that has been on there for 10 years. 1 year it got cut. I think it was the first year that Phil left. One of the amounts got cut to $70,000, which wasn't going to do much for us. And so then the next year I asked for it, and I asked for more to catch us back up, and you guys granted it. And so we talk about equipment and getting equipment, as much equipment as we have. We've got a lot of equipment, and it doesn't last forever, and what we do on it is hard on it. You know, I could sit here and say I need a grader in 2 years, or I need a dump truck in a year. I'm gonna need 3 dump trucks in 5 years. I think the best way that I think to remedy that, or to maintain that, is we know every year that we're taking the same dollar amount and putting in there. And as the highway department, we've got to make sure that we're getting what we need and fixing what we need, not just what we want. And I mean, if I was gonna come up here and ask you for a specific dollar amount for the equipment that we need, and the equipment that needs replaced, it would probably be a lot more than that. This is not gonna buy what we need right now. But what it's gonna do, is it's gonna help me manage from year to year. We know we're pretty much spending this much money. Well, what's our best bang for our buck? Do we go after this excavator? Do we limp this tractor on another year? And technically, that's where we're at. We've got 3 rubber-tired excavators. One of them is, I think I could tell you the year, because I did bring some of that just to. So one of them is it's a 2013. It's got, actually they don't have it on there, but it's got over 10,000 hours on it. It's losing hydraulic power. You can't even hardly get it down the road. That thing needs to be replaced. I talked about it at the other commissioners meeting. And the other one, I got another one, it's a 2019, it's got 6,400 hours on it, and then we had got a used one, I think you guys were involved in that. It's a 2018, and we bought it from Greene County, and it's got 3,500 hours on it. So, with the amount of roads and ditches and stuff we do, the 3 rubber-tired excavators, that's what they do. I can't wait until they all 3 go bad at once. So I'm thinking, okay, we need to start making a move on a rubber-tired excavator, because we know we're losing that one. We wanted to make a move on the tractors, but then we decided, didn't we, Jason? We decided We're gonna try to keep making work what we have on the tractors. The dump trucks, we started replacing dump trucks. Not our army dump trucks. You see the army dump trucks, that's I like to give people credit where it's due, and that's a brainchild of Phil and his building them dump trucks. And in our maintenance, Chuck Garrett, when he was there, and Pat Wade, we built them dump trucks. They're actually semis that we got government surplus from overseas, $10,000, $8,000 with, minimal miles on them, 8,000 miles on them maybe. And so we took the semis, and then we went to NDOT salvage auction, and we bought used NDOT trucks with stainless steel beds on them. We cut the stainless steel beds off of them and the controls or anything else we wanted, put them on them semis, moved the axles back, threw the rest or scrapped the rest of the NDOT truck, took it to the metal yard and beefed up the axles and different things, and we used them, and they're great. But the trucks that we had like 2004 Freightliners. They'd have about 400,000 miles on them. We had one of them, if you turned it off, you wasn't turning it back on. There's a lot of different problems with them. So we're keeping the Army trucks to use, but the Army trucks work good in the country when you're ditching and going in the hauling dirt and stuff. They don't work as good because they don't haul as much when you're building new roads and you're hauling stone out. The Army trucks got the little bitty tires and the mirrors rattle off and everything. So we're keeping them because they were a minimal cost. But I think in 2020, Bill had bought three dump trucks, and then in 2025, I had bought 2 dump trucks. 2026, we got 3 dump trucks coming in, and then so that money in there, basically this next year, I want to buy 2 more dump trucks. That's why I left the 300,000 into 200,000, and then you go back to Cume Bridge, and I think it's 200,000 also for equipment. That will give me 10 dump trucks from 2020 to 2027, and we've got 10 drivers that drive dump trucks. And then probably a couple years we'll start replacing them. The 2020s, I brought some of that information. I got 3 2020s, and they got 160,000 miles average on them already. 2 of the trucks we're going to get out one has 524,000 miles, another one has 407,000, and another one has 400,000 miles on them. So they spend more time in the shop, and we spend more time working on them. And that throws a big wrench in your plan. You got guys out trying to chip seal, pave, haul stone, do a project, and the truck goes down. It does make it hard. So we got to have good equipment to stay productive, and that's why them numbers are in there. And the dump trucks is what I'm thinking. If I get the 2 more dump trucks this year, and then we got some miscellaneous things like a little pavement widener that we want to get. I think it's $80,000. Dump trucks are $240,000 to $270,000 a piece. And them dump trucks are the same ones that haul our asphalt, our stone, push our snow, haul our salt and sand. So that's why them numbers are there. It's no more than what has been. I'm not saying that's right. It's just I'm just keeping it the same.
I appreciate the information.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else?
Sorry.
Chris?
How's staffing?
It's good. We're down 1. This time of year, I actually told the commissioners, we're at each other's throat. Our guys are edgy and our bosses are edgy, and it's almost miserable sometimes. But this time of year, we got a lot of stuff that we're trying to get done in a short time. And then the rains that we've had this year don't help. Every time it rains and it washes out a road, we got to go back and spend a week fixing it. But the staffing's good. We're just down 1 employee right now.
Okay.
And that's, you can bring Jason up here and you can question him why he's not got him in here yet. I told him already we needed to have somebody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bill?
Morning.
Morning.
How's everybody today?
Good.
Well,
So we got Ville Fire District. Any questions for him on that?
That's about the same as last year's budget, isn't it?
Just a little bit higher because all of our trucks are over 20 years old. And they've all got original tires, and we're beginning to get some tires that are, as a matter of fact, cracked, and we had one blow here a week or two ago on a run. So I put the extra money in the budget this time in the event that we need to replace a bunch of tires.
Looks good.
Okay, for Ville, then on Davis County Soil and Water District, any questions?
I owe you fellows an apology. I didn't know I was to do that. I used to be on that board, and I am no longer. When I got the letter last week, I just never read it close enough to see that
Well, you've got good numbers here, so you're in good shape.
Okay.
Take credit for it, Phil.
Yeah, I don't see any questions there, do you guys?
No.
No, all right. You're
As
good.
long as I've been on the board, it's been about the same every year, so.
Yep.
Who did the budget this year?
Huh?
Who did the budget this year for the soil and water?
I don't know.
Oh.
Probably Amber, because she's the one that's kind of in charge out there.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All righty.
Thank you.
We're good, thank you.
yeah, thanks, Bill.
Hey, closer.
Well, I was trying to keep you awake there, I didn't want you. So at this point in time, do we want to do, Crystal's here, do we
Assessors.
do lunch, or what?
Crystal and out, and I think Warren, once we get done.
All right. Crystal, if we can find you in here, we're not,
See her on the,
See where we at.
I got
see
it.
her on the list.
Crystal's at the 1240 spot. Who does the assessment?
Reassessment and assessment.
It's not on this schedule, but, okay. It'll be on.
There it is.
Amy. Okay, so.
Everybody with me?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm searching.
Really nothing new this year. I went with the recommendation of the salary committee. The only thing was, I think what Dale talked to you about earlier today on the server, and that's in reassessment. But my general is pretty much the same. And then jumping over to reassessment.
Yeah, you were only up 6K
Oh,
from last year, so that's good. And that's, again, salaries and benefits, so.
Yes. Help.
try to be as conservative as I can.
It looks good.
Yes.
Crystal, both of them.
So, if you have anybody have any questions?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thanks, Crystal.
Thank you.
Miss Jamie.
Back one, she.
Back one.
Good morning.
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 This is still morning, isn't it? Yeah.
10 more minutes.
Is it?
Looking into our, budget, the upcoming budget, I guess it'd be 27, wouldn't it? Wow. I don't see any additional monies that I need to request. I did raise my postage 8%. That'd be about $900. That's for the increase in postage
Right.
from our vendor in New Albany. that we're very happy with on the tax statement mailings. And I split that between tax statements and postage. So, that way it's not all falls under the
Yep.
one or the other. I have put in my request for my computer. I know you gave me that last year, 1,500 for equipment. And, my girls all got computers last year with the help of, assessors. So I got 1,500 for myself for computer, and the request is sent to Dale. And other than that,
Don't see much else. Questions? Squeaky clean. Very good.
we're good? Okay,
Good.
we're good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. And girls.
You, Lauren?
We take a quick break while we're waiting on Lauren.
Yeah, I could use a quick break.
Yeah.
Quick, do a quick break, and then if Lauren shows up, we'll do her. If not, then we'll do lunch.
Okay.
So 5 or 10 minutes here, and then we'll